welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment, the sports capital of the world, and everything else. You know, today we have a special guest. I mean, real special guest today. Going to be none other than Shelly by calls and Joe Cortez on the show today. We're going to be talking about a little bit of everything. You know, Shelly, we think back in the days when we grew up in Philadelphia and Spanish Harlem in New York, all the good old days. We had much good times. But, you know, there's nothing like today.
That's true.
You know, a lot of good things today. I don't want to talk about politics or religion.
Exactly.
We talk about loving each other and caring for each other. Because, you know, there's a lot of things in life that we go through, you know. We got my daughters, my wife, everybody got through issues, myself, you know, health issues.
Yeah.
But we're able to come back, you know,
right.
and
come
make
back
it,
strong.
and make a comeback.
Yeah.
And, you know, most recently, we were in Atlantic City for the Hall of Fame, when I got into the Hall of Fame, which is nice. And you were there with your husband, and you get to see your family there.
Yep.
I mean, it is really a pleasure. It's like a blessing in disguise, you know. Having a 1-2 punch here today with you guys is something different. Something like you don't find every day a show like ours. Our show is about caring and loving. We're not here about bragging about anything. We're here to talk the truth about life and what can we do to make life better.
Absolutely.
Now, what do you have to say about life itself?
I love life. You know, I'm telling you, and like you were saying, when we were back in Philly and we got to see our family, we didn't have a lot of time there because we went to see you also get your Hall of Fame boxing award, so we didn't get to see a lot of the people, you know, that we wanted to. And I just got a text today from a friend who said, next time you come to Philly, you better call us. And these are Wesley's old friends and band members from when he was with the Stylistics. So let me give a shout out, to Doc and Oliver, who just texted me today and said, don't come to Philly again without seeing us. So we're coming back in the summer.
That's
Definitely.
great. That's great, you know.
Yeah.
I get people, you know, talking about the Hall of Fame. It's a blessing in disguise to get inducted into the Hall of Fame again. I never expected that from day one, and but I got it. Thank God for that, and I earned it because I did so many fights. You know, I refereed for 35 years, and being a fighter myself, professional and amateur, before I became a referee. A lot of people didn't know I was a fighter, but I was real quick on my feet, in and out.
You
moving
still
around.
are quick on your feet.
And I did that as a referee as well. I was moving, constantly moving. And today, at my age, my young age, 28, is it 28?
That's right.
The other way around. Anyway, I still feel good. I still feel sharp. I still got a little spark of the old flash, and I feel like I want to keep going. You can't stop me, you know. You want to know what kind of vitamins I'm taking?
What kind?
I can't take the vitamins that's called God.
Hey, there you go.
God is in my corner.
That's right,
you know,
absolutely.
But I really feel good about, you know, taking care of other people out there.
Yes,
my
you do.
daughter, we got my friend Rick, going to some health issues. Rick is a good guy. You know, we love Rick, our engineer.
Absolutely.
He's a good guy. I've been with Rick for about, I don't know, I would say 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know. I don't keep track, but it's been a lot of years. And I love coming to the studio because I feel like this is like a home.
It is. It's our other home.
We come here, and Rick does a great job. And you can see we do our show live. We don't edit anything. We like to talk about everything, especially about you fans out there, you viewers, you know, who love boxing, who love sports, who love life. We're here to share whatever we can to keep you on the right track. You know, Shelly, talking about being on the right track, you know, I grew up in New York in Spanish Harlem, and I had Gaspar Adrian Ortega, a fighter from Mexico, who moved to my neighborhood, and he was a top-notch welterweight fighter.
Yeah.
You know, Gaspar had 176 professional fights when he retired. He passed away about 4 years ago, may he rest in peace. Gaspar El Indio Ortega. He was a good guy, and he kept me on the right track, you know. I didn't have the father image around me. I grew up with a single parent at home, and my brother Mike and Richie and Rafi. So my mother raised us on her own, and we try to do the right thing to keep my mother happy. She always tell us, you know, how to do things and what not to do to stay out of trouble. But, you know, Gaspar Ortega got me on the right track. When I was 12 years old, I met Gaspar Ortega, and he started, that was 1955. Yes, many of you viewers out there probably not even born when I met Gaspar Ortega, when I was 12 years old. But anyway, it's a really nice. Gaspar put me on the right track, got me involved with boxing, and you know, I tell fans out there, if you have somebody you want to help out, it doesn't have to be boxing. It could be baseball, it could be hockey, it could be football, other sports. Just keep yourself busy, but keeping yourself occupied with something. You know, a lot of individuals out there was going out there. They grew up the wrong way, and then when they get to be adults, there's something wrong in their heads. They're not 100% right. The thing is that we try to do with this show is to bring people on here and talk about. If we don't have a guest like today, then Shirley and I, with our experiences, with the 1-2 punch. We get out there and knock you out with what we got to say.
That's so right.
So guys, we got me on the right track. Now what you guys do is try to help out the kids out there. What do you say about kids?
I totally agree. You know, when I was coming up, it was my mother and grandmother who raised me. My father was killed before I was born in a car accident, so I never got to meet him. So my mother and my grandmother made sure I had like all the proper people around me to help them raise me, especially like, you know, husbands of my mother's friends and stuff, so I would have someone that was a male figure in my life as well, you know, telling me how to buy cars and stuff as I got older, you know, and that's just the way it used to be back in the day. We all took care of each other in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and unfortunately today there's too much. Look at it, like I said, this is about politics, but we call the United States of America united. United means something to me.
That's right,
we got to be together and not fight against each other, clashing. I don't like that. Let's all be united. Let's all help one another out. Let's help out these kids. Let's help out the seniors. Let's help out the individuals in your community to get them on the right track. There's so many things that I go out there I don't like, I don't agree with either way, but you know what? I say let's all get together like you and I do. We put this show together to help people out there.
Yeah.
You know? Now, Wesley's a guy that your husband who started with the Commodores and the Stylistics back.
Oh, yeah.
We were 14 years old when he started with his music.
Yeah,
he was
very young.
From all the information I gathered from him. And then he made it to be, a top entertainer with the Stylistics and the Commodores.
Yeah.
And then you and him got together, 33 years ago?
Yeah, actually, we just celebrated our anniversary. I can never remember how many. I think it was like 37 years, but we've been together a lot longer than that, you know. When we first met, we just automatically connected. You know, I was a flight attendant with Pan Am because I wanted to see the world. You know, I knew there was more world in Philadelphia. You know, I was born in Jersey. I had relatives that were in South Carolina and New York, and I'm like, you know what? I need to see the world. How can I do it for free? So I became a flight attendant with Pan Am and got to travel around the world with them. And then later on, when I met Wesley and he was performing in Philadelphia, he called me up to the piano to sing with him, and I did. Somebody heard us. They thought we were like together. We really weren't, but we ended up taking a job with that guy, and that's when we became twice as nice.
Good. You guys have been blessed in so many ways, and now we're out here a little up in age, and we still feel young. You're still young. I see you perform almost every Saturday night at Lolo's here in Las Vegas. Summerlin, nice restaurant.
Yeah.
And talking about Lola's, we were there last Saturday. We had a special event last Saturday. I was invited to a Halloween party. And I said, what am I gonna wear? She said, wear your face. I said, that's enough. I said, am I that ugly? I thought I was gonna wear for Halloween. But anyway, so I decided to go to Lola's instead. And we went there because, we go there to watch you and your husband perform. But it was a special event that night that we had Carlos.
Carlos became an American citizen. Our owner, Carlos and TJ, shout out to you guys. You know how much we love you.
Yeah. So Carlos became a U.S. citizen. He's from Cuba originally. And I got dual citizenship in Cuba and United States. And I was able to present him with an American flag, a real American in a packet. And I gave him a little flag in the hand. And I also put a little pin with the American flag on his lapel. And he's a good guy. He's a chef there. Him and his wife, they own Lola's restaurant. TJ, she's a very special individual. She's so caring with everybody. When you go there, they treat you like a family.
They do.
You think you're coming home to your family.
Is a family.
They always embrace you, and they'll give you a kiss, You say, wow.
And another thing I like about Lola's is, whenever we are performing, like for example, this week, like I said, was our anniversary week, and we had 3 gigs this week. One was at the German American Club, where we perform the second Tuesday of every month. We do a Motown and More show there. And then we had another gig on Friday night at Miller's Tavern, which is in the Del Webb community, very close to our house in Summerlin. And then Lola's was Saturday, and it was so wonderful to watch all of our people who come out to see us at all of those places meet together in Lola's. Because that's what we're about, bringing people together through music.
It's nice. I like to see all these fans, they're like family get together.
Yeah.
But, I was able to travel around the world before my older age. I was refereeing up until I was 69. So I retired like 13 years ago. And 13, 14 years ago. Anyway, the thing was I was able to travel around the world. You know, I've been to just about 9 different continents around the world. It's been an honor for me to meet different people from all over the world. But I remember I had a great experience when I went to China. I met a young lady who was my interpreter. We need an interpreter. I went there, Larry Hazard, a boxing commissioner from New Jersey, former referee, a good one too. And we used to go to, we went to China, and they took us up to the Great Wall of China. You know, not many people that I know have been to the Great Wall of China, but I've been to China on 3 different occasions. And it was so nice. They took us to the Great Wall of China. There was one young lady who was an interpreter, a college student. She spoke pretty good English. And if he took us the whole day, took us all over, and I was talking to her about my 3 daughters, you know. I talked so much about my daughters. I'm so proud of them, Cindy, Sandy, and Christine. And I was telling her about all the different experiences we had and whatnot, and how I am as a father, you know, and now as a grandfather, now as a great-grandfather too. But anyway, I was telling her back then about how I was with my family, my daughters, my wife, my children. And at the end of the day, we said goodbye to each other, and then she started crying. And I said, excuse me, why are you crying? She says, oh, I wish I had a father like you. You know, and that was so touching, you know.
Yeah.
Because that's supposed to be communist China, you know, but it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, people around there, people all over the world, wherever I travel around the world, whether it's a communist country or just a liberal country, like, you know, a free country like we have in the United States. But, you know, I got to meet people from all over the world, and I still get individuals texting me, Joe, can we do a podcast? Like Monday, I'm going to be doing a podcast with United Kingdom. I did one with Brazil the other day. I did one with South Africa the day before yesterday. People from all over the world keep on calling and texting me, Joe, can we do a podcast show? And I said, sure, why not? What do you want to talk about? I said, let's talk about anything. You know, they want to talk about boxing. Yeah. But, you know, I like to really share my knowledge and wisdom with these individuals, because that's what we need more today. We need more caring for one another, stop knocking each other down. I mean, we knock each other down in boxing. They knocked me down. I never hit the canvas, but it was pretty good when I knocked my opponents down. But anyway, the thing is, to caring and loving is so important out there. That's what we got to do a lot of. Rick knows how I am, my engineer here. And Rick knows I've been the same way. That's why we love him so much. He got a heart of gold as well.
I know. We met Rick years ago. I tell you, he was the videographer and producer of a show we did called Under the Vegas Sun, and Steve Shore, he was the host. Unfortunately, he passed away, but that's when we first met Rick years ago, and he's still the same sweetheart that he was back then. And I was so surprised when we first met you and found out that, you know, he was producing your show as well. That's how we all got together. God brings good people together.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're supposed to be together.
And it's so special. You know, I was going through my some photos the other day, and I went at some location. I like to go to these antique stores, and I went to an antique store, and I came across a picture of a singer named Sophie Tucker.
Oh, I remember.
Sophie Tucker from way back.
Some of these days, you're going to miss me, honey.
Sophie Tucker. And her and I, when I used to go to Hawaii, and I used to go there, I was fighting in Hawaii a couple of times, and I would go there, and I met her at the hotel where I was staying at. I would go there to fight once in a while. I think I fought there 4 times in Hawaii. I had 4 fights, 4 wins. And it was Sophie Tucker, and I became friends. Wow. And I remember she was so kind, so caring, and she was entertaining at some hotel that we were at, but she also lived there too. So she lived there and she entertained it. And when I saw a guy at the Liberty Museum, we looked at the pictures. I said, "You guys know who this lady is?" And I said, "No." I said, "That's Sophie Tucker." And the director, the guy George, he said, "Joe, how do you know Sophie Tucker?" I said, "It happened back in Hawaii, right back when I was in the Army, and I went to fight Hawaii several times." Sophie Tucker, one of the great ones.
Oh God! And you mentioned Hawaii. I love Hawaii.
Hawaii, I lived there for a while. I had an apartment there, and I sold it about 10 years ago. Really nice. I went Walla Kuala Avenue, a beautiful building called the Hawaii. Near Hawaii Village.
Hawaii Hilton Village?
Near there, about 3 blocks from there. It was beautiful, but Hawaii is really nice. One of the places, one of my favorite countries, one of my favorite states.
Yes.
My favorite countries are Italy and Australia.
Okay.
Melbourne. I never went to Sydney. I went to Melbourne, Australia. But Melbourne, Australia, and Italy are two of my favorite countries that I've been to. Yeah. I know you've been around the world. You've been to different places.
Yeah.
You and Wesley. But you know, the reason why we talk about this, we told you that today's guest will be a special guest with Shelly and myself, because we want to share with you a little bit about our past, you know, what we did in the past.
Yeah.
Now today, you see all these kids today, these killings, the drugs, we got to put a stop to that.
Yeah.
All these shootings around the country, all these drugs around the country, we got to put a stop to that. You know, we got to help the individuals. I got a friend of mine, Kevin Oliver, and his girlfriend, Juanita Cap. She's from South Africa, and he's from Texas, and now we're trying to put a program together. I want to put a cadet program to help these kids get on the right track. When I was a young kid, 12 years, about 10, 11, 12 years old, when the time I met Gaspar Ortega, but I was in the St. Martin Nautical Cadets. And I was out there. They were teaching me how to march, how to use the rifles, you know, for the parade. We were like, you know, I couldn't believe that I would be marching on Fifth Avenue in New York City at a parade, you know, with the St. Martin Nautical Cadet. It was a Navy cadet program. It was good, you know. The kid was on the right track. Then Gaspar Ortega came around, and he got me into boxing with my brother Mike. But, you know, you viewers out there, Shelly and I, we're here, like I said today, we're here to help out. We're here because we care for you. We're here meaning from our heart. We're not phonies. We're the real deal, okay? Like they say, Evander Holyfield is a real deal. So we're the real deal. The 1-2 punch. You know, boxing was good to me, and music was great to you.
It sure
What do you
was.
have to tell our viewers about those who may want to get involved with entertainment, singing like you?
Well, you know, I don't really know, because it's so different now than it was back in the day.
Yeah,
Now
but-
everybody's putting their music out like on their phones or whatever, and this and that. So I say, if that's what you're really into, then don't ever give up. First of all, don't ever give up. Just keep writing, you know, and somebody eventually will hear you. That's the thing. You have to get out there and be heard. Let your songs be known. You know, we have a couple of songs out on iTunes and stuff. But, you know, back in the day when I was on ships, I had so many young people around me. They always taught me what to do and showed me what to do, how to get this song out, this song out. But now that we've been on ships since COVID, you know, here in Las Vegas, it's been kind of hard for us. It's like, because our kids and grandkids are back on the East Coast, and I need some young people. So if you want to help me get my, you know, music going out there, and you're listening today, give me a call, because we could really use a young person's advice too.
What she's talking about, you're talking about social media. You need social media to get her music going. Because social media today, they didn't have that when you came up the rough way.
Exactly.
You was like a fight. You had a struggle to get there.
Exactly.
But today, I think it's easier because you got social media, and you have different platforms that they got. You got Spotify, you got
and
so many.
that all works well if you have young people around you all the time.
You got all the different platforms, and you can go to it. You know, you got, and I like to see a bit more of that with the young kids today. You guys are lucky. You had with the modern day technology, especially with AI.
Oh.
Yeah, AI is really taking over now. There's a lot of people,
it is.
people our age, I have a little difficulty learning about it, but I try to get out there and learn as much as I can on my own. You know, I try to learn, because I've always say, you know, if he can do it, I can do it too. I can do. I feel I can do anything. I don't let anything stop me. But I mean it because I want to help other people out there. You know, at my age, I just feel like so many individuals want to say, Joe, how did it feel? You know, you went to fight in the ring with Mike Tyson on 8 times. How did it feel when he was banging those guys and the punches? You know, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Lennox Lewis, Larry Holmes.
Yeah.
You know. And I can go on and on. I did so many champions around the world, and I traveled the world doing championship fights. For me, it was an honor, but now it's time for me, after I've been retired, to pay it forward. You see, that's the main part of our lives. Pay it forward, help other individuals out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, no matter how old you are, whether you're young or you're old, sometimes we need help, and we got to help individuals. I love talking to the seniors, and I love talking to a couple of weeks ago, I went to high school here in Las Vegas. My friend called me up and said, Kristen Rich, and she's married to Mark Rich. He's well-known here in Las Vegas. He used to have a pizzeria, and he said he also involved with the entertainment music, with the oldies. He bought Johnny Bites from the Brooklyn Bridge to Vegas one time to entertain her. And I tell you, so she had me talking to the student. His wife had me talking to the students at the school which he teaches at. It had like 80 students there. It was such an honor talking to them. I told them about my background because I look at the young kids that are 15, 16, 17 years of age. I said, I was your age. When I was your age, this is what I went through. I went through difficult times. My mother had difficult times, you know. She was welfare assistance and all that stuff, you know. So we went the poor way, but you have to learn how to survive that and make it through the difficult times. That's why these kids, you know, if I did it, you can do it too. That's why I love talking to kids in the schools. And I have a judge that we had last week. We had a Judge
Shannon Nordstrom.
Shannon Nordstrom was on last week on the show, and we told her we'd like to help her out with her kids because she does so much with Ward 2. Ward 2, she's running for council in Ward 2. And we want to help out with the kids any way we can. We want to keep helping out with our citizens out there. We're all united. Remember the word United States means we're all together. We got to be together. Keep helping people out there like Shelly and I are doing. Shelly, I really love having this show because this show, like I said, you see those sponsors, nothing. I don't need that. We're here to help out. We're here. I just love you guys. I just love talking about how we get people on the right track, you know?
Exactly.
And if you think I'm BSing you guys, I'm not.
No,
You're BSing yourself if you don't believe me.
That's right. Love finds love. That's what I always say. When we first met, it was love at first sight. And then you introduced me and Wesley to your family. And now it's like all one big love fest. And that's the way we are. And you were mentioning Hawaii a few minutes ago. First, I have to give a shout out to some of our friends that are from Hawaii. Matter of fact, if you need your car repaired, take it to VIP on Sahara and ask for the manager, ATI. He takes such good care of us and our cars. And his father is here now in Las Vegas. He came, a couple months ago to live with Ati. So we're gonna do some
So it's Ati, ATI?
ATI, yeah.
ITI?
ATI.
ATI, go to VIP.
VIP on Sahara. They take the best care of our cars and our van that we, drive our equipment in.
That's great.
Yeah.
But that's good to have. They're good friends out there. They're going to be coming Saturday, hopefully.
Yes, they will. Absolutely. Everybody's going to be coming Saturday because, like I said, we've been celebrating, it seems like, since, the whole week for our anniversary. And then my birthday's coming up next month. And then, no, not next month, December. But I'm like you. I'm going to reverse the numbers because I'm going to be 72, but I'm going to switch it to 27 and say, I just misquoted.
Well, a lot of people tell me, Joe, you and your call, Shelly, you guys look like you're still young.
I said, hearts.
I was born without hair, and I'm not going to die without hair. I was looking at a picture of me with my Army uniform the other day, and I had all the hair. In my fighting days, when I was fighting, I remember when I was fighting in Madison Square Garden, had nice pictures of the whole back page of the New York Daily News, not of me committing any crime, me doing something. Me was committing a crime, knocking the guy out. But the picture of me knocking the guy out in Madison Square Garden,
Yeah.
I remember one night, I knocked out two guys the same night for the Eastern Golden Glove Championships. And my brother Mike, won by decision, won by knockout. We had to fight twice. They don't do that anymore. They stopped doing that. Too many guys are getting hurt in boxing. But it was an honor for me, being back in the old days when I had some hair on my head. The only hair I got, not on my head, but it's on my chest. But anyway, maybe I take somebody get a transplant and put the hair from my chest on my forehead.
Oh my Lord!
I need some on my forehead right here. Anyway, all I can tell you guys is that this show is, like I said, it's not a comedy show. Sometimes we put a little funny acts in it, but it's all because we want to make sure you people feel touched by what we're doing. We really care for you guys. Talking about the neighborhoods and whatnot here in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, it's got too many things happening here: music, sports. Entertainment. I remember when I met there's so many famous singers here, but there was a guy who wear a big cowboy hat, Wayne Newton.
Oh yeah.
Wayne Newton. I met him at the fights. He's come to his fights with his wife, and may she rest in peace, his first wife. And he used to come down and say, "Joe, man, I love boxing." I said, but you're a little too old to be a fighter. you're pretty good with your singing, though. You know, I said, I wish I could sing like you, man. He said, not many people can sing like me. I said, I know that. But anyway, he loved boxing. We became good friends, and I got to see him several years back. And I took my cousin and her daughter to see him. The last time I saw him at the Bally's Hotel. He performs there, a small audience, but he puts a lot of his shows. He puts it on a TV monitor about him singing back in the day when he was young, and some of his music that he sings today with a 4-piece band, small group, small room at Bally's Hotel. But it's always been a pleasure meeting great entertainers around there.
Oh, yeah.
I hear what's the name? Somebody wants to meet me. Your buddy, the drummer.
Oh, Bugsy?
Bugsy.
Bugsy Wilcox. Hey, Bugsy.
He said he has a friend that wants to meet me. What's the name? Your famous guy played with the Commodores. It's stylistic.
Bugsy played with Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, but he told me that he has a friend that wants to meet me.
Oh, okay.
What's his friend?
I don't know.
Yeah, come on, you know the guy. Very famous singer. He played with your husband back when your husband was singing. He tried to be one of the most famous singers out there.
I don't remember who that could be.
Come on, he played with your husband. He said Lionel Richie.
You talking about Lionel Richie?
Yeah.
Oh, Lionel. Oh, okay.
So Lionel Richie said,
yeah.
And Bugsy says, hey, Joe, he wants to meet you so bad. But Lionel Richie, Bugsy, what's happening out there, buddy? He's watching the show. I'm waiting to meet Lionel Richie. He said he's coming to Vegas. He wants to meet me. I want to meet him, too.
I know, right? We're trying to get Lionel, too, because Lionel is so busy. Oh, my God. Everybody's, like, waiting for him to just be able to come to Vegas and just chill and spend time with us.
He's a guy, he seems to have a heart of gold. The guy he seems to be very humble, very caring.
Yeah.
I love the way he is with the fans.
Yeah.
And as a person, I'm trying to meet him. I had one day, when I had the Earth, Wind, and Fire on my show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was about 6, 7 of us out of one big round table. Actually, it was a blackjack table, and it was a nice meeting. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Mm-hmm.
They were very special guys.
Yeah.
And one day I got to meet my friend Vinny and his wife.
I spoke to Vinny the other day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I told him to tell Lucy hi. Hi, Vinny. Hi, Lucy.
Yeah, Vinny and Lucy out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we met him, and then he invited the Earth, Wind, and Fire to the house, and that's when I invited you to come up and meet them. You met Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Mm-hmm.
But, we have a lot of fun meeting the right people out there. There's a lot of good people out there that need some help, and we're here to help you any way we can. We're not here to put you down. We're here to help you, get you on the right track. Whether you're young or you're old, we're here for you, because Shelly and I, we think, like the old-timers, with a mind of a youngsters.
We do. You know what? You got me thinking about Hawaii so much. I got a plan. Let's say that you and Sylvia and me and Wesley go on a joint vacation and go to Hawaii. We have so many friends there. We should go. We could do a live show in Hawaii on the beach.
Well, you had a good singer there. A guy back in the old days, back in the 60s and 70s and 80s. Joe something. A very popular
singer from Hawaii?
Yeah, a friend of yours. You mentioned your name before.
I'm trying to think who that could be.
Anyway,
oh my goodness!
There was a lot of popular singers out of Hawaii,
and a lot of popular sumo wrestlers out of Hawaii too.
Yeah, what's his friend?
Konishiki, yeah, Konishiki. Hey, Sally, we're getting all excited talking about Hawaii. Yes, well, we were lucky enough when we lived in Japan for 10 years. We were performing in Japan all over, and we met the sumo wrestlers, and we met their manager. Next thing you know, we became the entertainment for all the sumo wrestlers parties.
Now, the sumo wrestlers, do they surf too or not? I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Could the board hold them up?
I know. I don't think so. No.
But surfing is such a popular sport there in Hawaii.
Yeah.
All these tournaments that they hold out there.
Yeah.
All these waves. And
I love Hawaii. It's my favorite place. One of my favorite places in the world.
Yeah, Hawaii is beautiful. I used to love to travel up in the mountain area. Sometimes you see the
volcanoes.
The volcanoes. You see the volcanoes, and they had a place where it was a mountain like a rock, and they were they had a hole, and the water would shoot out this hole. It was like the wind would blow the water into the whole, I forgot what they call it, but you got so many things, beautiful
The
scenery.
blowhole. Mm-hmm.
So many sceneries and so many good things to see
Oh,
in
God,
Hawaii.
it's beautiful. Yeah.
And the people are very friendly.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? I heard that there's a lot of Puerto Ricans that live in Hawaii.
Yeah.
From back in the old days. Back in the old days, a lot of Puerto Ricans who moved to Hawaii.
Wow.
I met a lot of Puerto Ricans in Hawaii. They don't even speak Spanish. Yeah? And he said, I'm Puerto Rican. I said, but you speak Spanish? Your parents speak Spanish? No, we don't.
Yeah.
I said, okay, but you speak Hawaiian, right? they have the Hawaiian language?
Yeah, they do. They have their own little lingo. Yeah. Oh, I want to remind everybody, too, that we're also going to be at Lola's not just Saturday, but we're going to be there tomorrow as well.
Friday and Saturday
this week. We're going to be there
week.
tomorrow and Saturday at Lola's. So
Well, we hope you guys come up to Lola's tomorrow, Saturday.
come once, come twice. Just come.
You come here to listen to the music, come to have a good meal. And remember, guys, we're going to be seeing you next week. We have a special guest next week. We're talking about making your life easier, something with solutions in your life. Anyway, we'll see you next week. Take care. Keep your guards open all the time. And remember, undisputed champion,
Hey.
Shelly Stevens, Joe Cortez, 1-2 punch. Take care. See you next week. God bless.
Bye.